What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Game Time Live. We are coming to you on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, March 15th, 2026. And we want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, Matt Gaddis at State Farm. And we also want to give a big thank you to Wire to the Nines and, of course, Big Z Sports Grill. We have an announcement regarding Big Z Sports Grill here in, after the show. And during the show, we'll announce it at the end, though. I am joined with my co-host, D. Cott. We should have Ramon joining us. He's having some audio issues, so we are hoping to have him on the show today. But, Daryl, great to have you on. It's a great Sunday. I know you were watching a lot of college basketball yesterday. I got to watch a little bit, but not too much because I had work. But we're going to break down all the March Madness in this one, and we will talk about it. We thought the selection show was at noon. It's at 6 o'clock, so we're just kind of going to preview what we think will happen today. Will Miami of Ohio get in? We'll find out. We're going to talk some NBA. We're going to break down the updated standings that are right now. Should be a good show. It's a basketball-heavy show. Make sure to go check out our other content this week. We have plenty of content on the channel. Corey, great to have you a part of the show. Always tuning in, so shout out to Corey. Getting in early here to watch Game Time Live. Daryl, I will give you the floor. Where do you want to start?
I want to start really simple. This week was probably our busiest week with views and action was going on from Sunday through yesterday. I want to thank all of our not only our sponsors, but our viewers and everybody who's chimed in. Isaiah keeps pinging me. People are making comments because I don't see the comments often in time unless I go look for them. And there's been a lot of commentary about things we've said back and forth. I agree 100%, Corey. Best basketball week ever.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I wanted to hit on, and I'm going to put it to bed, Tuesday night, the 83-point performance by Bam Adebayo, right? That people they've jumped me. I'm going to be clear here. I like Bam. I respect his game. I liked him at Kentucky. But I'm also old enough to remember when people would say, hey, you can't manipulate the game. It takes away from the character, and also it takes away from the quality along with the competitive spirit. That's what I think happened. Clear. I don't care about Miami. I don't care about Washington. Only team I care about is that team behind me. That's it. That's it in NBA. That's it. So, but with that said, I'm not going to hate on a guy. I'm just going to speak what I see. And what I saw was a manufactured 83-point game. That's it. Be mad if you want. That's fine. That's how I feel. Yeah. That's how I feel. And what I saw was an 83-point performance where guys were holding other guys back, fouling on purpose, doing those things like that. That's all I'm saying.
You got it, Ramon? Oh.
Hey, Ramon is here in spirit.
He's trying to figure it out. But I want to give a big shout out there.
That threw me completely off. he just popped in like poof.
I thought he got it figured out.
Anyway, my point being, hey, nothing but love for Bam Adebayo. Nothing but love for the Miami Heat. Again, it's my feeling is how I feel.
Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to R4-162.
Corey, don't be attacking me.
I want to give a shout out to R4_162. We had a really heated debate over a clip I said about Bam. But we, at the end of it, it was respect. He said respect to you. Right back at you. And I'm always fine to go back and forth in the comments with anybody that comments under our clips, because if you feel that passionate about it to where you feel the need to comment, I have no problem going back and forth with you as long as there's a respect thing about it. And at the end, nice little respect at the end, because I told him, when I recorded that video on Tuesday about Bam, I was more fired up. As the days have gone by, at the end of the day, the NBA is still my favorite sport. It's the league that I do love the most. I can agree it has its problems right now, but I still love the sport. And as the days have gone by, I don't really care anymore. So some of that stuff I said in the Bam video, I don't really feel like that.
He's gotten over it.
Was I a little harsh on the first 3 quarters? Yes, because when I go back and watch the highlights, he got fouled on a lot of those free throws. Like when he went to the line, there is a lot of contact. Now there's some that are questionable, right? Because that's how it is. But there is some where I'm like, okay, that's a foul. Like clear as day, that's a foul. And that's on me for not checking that before we went on the recording or the live show and not saying, oh, yeah, you know what? A lot of these were fouls. Or, you know what? No, these weren't fouls. So that's on me. So a lot of what I said in that video, I take back after watching the game over and over this week. Now, there is some of them that I will stand on. I do think the final minutes was horrible. I do think some of the fouls weren't good fouls, but that's how the NBA is. That's how basketball is. So, but I will stand on
today's NBA is. Let's be clear.
And I will, and I said this in the comments. Congrats to how Bam played in the first 3 quarters. I won't take that away from him because a lot of those fouls he got in the first 3 quarters were really fouls. But I will not agree with the final minutes of the fourth. That is the only thing I don't agree with. Other than that, after watching the highlights and seeing the game and how it played out, all props to Bam on how he played because he truly did get fouled on a lot of those free throws when he got to the line. On most of them that I saw. Now, my opinion's different from everyone else, but I don't agree with the final minutes of the fourth quarter, and that's where I'll leave it at. But all props to Bam. A lot of that wasn't as manipulated as I thought, right? The fouls were truly fouls from my point of view, but the final minutes of the fourth, I can't respect that part of it. Other than that, though, great 3 quarters from Bam Adebayo. I can't take that away from him after watching the highlights this week. So that's where I'll leave it at. Daryl has those Bam clips did a hell of a show for us.
I saw the game live. I didn't have to look at clips. Saw it live.
Yeah, so it was a hell of a show. It was it was an interesting week. We got a big week. We've had all recorded content this week. If you haven't checked out the first episode of Side by Side, make sure to check that out. We'll have another episode coming out this week. IndyCar is racing around AT&T Stadium today in Dallas. It's a street circuit, Daryl. NASCAR is at Las Vegas. So it is going to be a big week in racing. And then obviously we're going to break down all things NBA and March Madness today. Daryl, I know you want to start with March Madness, so that is where we will start. Where do you want to go?
Do we have 3 hours for this show today? Because, man,
I can give you 2. I don't know about 3 hours.
I'm kidding. Listen, I'm loving all of this. I love the fact that UConn got beat. I love the fact that Florida got beat. I love the fact that it looks like Arkansas is going to take on the SEC title. It looks like Michigan and Purdue are going to fight it to the end. I'm loving all of this because we all are winners in this dynamic. If everything went chalk, we wouldn't have much to talk about. You know, this team is supposed to win, they win. It's just college basketball. And yes, I know players have gotten a little bit older now. It's no longer 18 to 22. It's kind of like 18 to 26. But still, it's great basketball. It's great competitive spirit. And if you saw that Houston-Arizona game last night, you talk about competitive spirit. You're talking about Houston was down 15 points in the second half. Yeah. And they looked like they were kind of walking in mud a little bit. They were a step behind on offense, and crazy, they were a little bit step behind on defense. They kept chipping away. My man Corey Pete missed a couple of front ends on one and ones that put his team in a bad spot. However, he made a big play at the end on an assist for a bucket and a 3 off the glass. It was great, seeing Kelvin Sampson continue to coach to the last second. He didn't give up. He was stoic. He stayed the same way he was in the first half as he was the last 3 minutes of the game. Very impressive game. Very impressive showcase of talent. And I think what it did for me in that game, I watched them all. In that game, depending on the brackets, of course, I see no reason why this number of teams, Arizona, Duke, UConn, Florida, potentially Arkansas, potentially Houston, and that's some type of a combination of that, right? That's what I'm seeing in that Final Four.
I think you're missing one.
I said Arizona. Are you saying Michigan? Maybe Duke.
I think St. John's with Pitino
and
St.
John's
well
look good as well.
St. John's, I know they're not in a big conference, but I mean, you look at
the ball, the hoop's the same size, right?
Yeah.
The hoop's the same size everywhere, and the ball bounces the same way. And you make a good point. St. John's is, they got Coach Rick Pitino. The guy's a salty veteran. He's been there, done. He's seen everything you can see.
Every team he's coached, he's won a conference title. That is very impressive.
That's very impressive. Again, as you look across the landscape, you see you see what happened, to Kansas, how they got plastered, right? TCU came back. Was it TCU that got them? I think it was TCU. And got them pretty. No one. They beat TCU. Who was that to beat Kansas out? I forget who it was off the top of my head. But it was just amazing, right, to see how these teams played, and they didn't. It was like it wasn't chalk, right? These cats out there, they played like it was nobody's business. And to your point, Corey, St. John's, they steamrolled UConn. It wasn't like a close game. But also the same things can be said about Florida and Vandy. Vandy smacked Florida around, and I've been praising Florida all season long, very similar to Arizona. I still like Arizona a tad more than I like Duke, because I think Arizona's got 6 or 7 pros on their team. Now, I'm not talking about guys that are going to get drafted. I'm talking 6 or 7 pros that are going to play in the league for quite a while. They've got a way about them that I like, and their coach is really stoic. He's simple. He doesn't go high and low. He just when Houston was coming back, he was the same way on the sideline. And they've got their senior guard, forget his name. He hurt his wrist or finger in the second half of the game yesterday, and he didn't score in the second half. That helped Houston get back in the game as well. But he's got a week to recover, because I don't think they play until maybe Friday. So he's got almost a week to recover, and he's he's still 23 years old, so he's young. He can heal pretty quickly.
I think Arizona is the favorite heading into this. I don't think there's really a question there. I think Duke is a strong second. I would probably slot St. John's in my number 3 spot right now, if I had to be honest. There's one team that I want to sneak in that I've been impressed with all year. I know you talked about them and their player having some injuries. I'm not referring to Kansas. I'm referring to Louisville. I really do like Louisville. They've been hot and cold, but I like them, right? I think if it's all about getting hot, right? And as we talked about before we went on, when we were talking about Grace College, it's about matchups. If Louisville can fall in the right spot, right section of the bracket, I think Louisville has a chance to make a deep run. I think Kentucky's another good option. But Arizona, Duke, St. John's, Florida, Michigan, I mean, all the teams you're naming are teams that I really like and that can be competitive. I think Nebraska is another one that is sneaky, right? So this is going to be a really fun tournament. And March Madness always brings a good tournament. We'll see what happens, who gets in when it comes. I know IU, Auburn, Miami of Ohio, who should not be on the bubble, but that it's neither here or there. It's going to be an interesting March Madness. Everybody's talking about NIL. There's not going to be a lot of upsets. You don't know that. We could get some shockers in this tournament, because
all it takes is one.
We talk about, right, all these players are getting scooped up from the NAIA and everywhere else. Some of those players are going to a St. Louis or some of these smaller MAC schools and making a difference. So we've got to be careful with saying there's not going to be any upsets, because there is somebody that will get upsetted. Purdue. So we'll see what happens. I mean, anything can really happen come March. It's the month of March. I don't agree with NIL is ruining college basketball. I think, if anything, it has helped the sport. There has been some interesting stuff, right? Players coming from the NBA back to college, I don't agree with, but I think we're still going to see some upsets in this tournament, because it's college basketball. Anything can truly happen.
And that's so true about that, right? You spoke about Miami of Ohio. Might as well go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Miami of Ohio lost 1 game all season long. Yeah, they've been a dominant team in that conference. They've been ranked the last, I think, 6 weeks of the season. There's no reason for a team to go in and lose 1 game in their conference, in that conference tournament, and then they're not allowed to be in the 68 team tournament when there are going to be teams that they absolutely show better from start to finish than, right? And for me and my take and that, with regard to that, I absolutely say there's no reason why Miami of Ohio would not be in the tournament. If they're not in the tournament, it would be a travesty. It would be almost WWE like. Need I say that, right? But I think they're going to be in. I think there's a lot of people talking loud, but the committee hopefully has the heart to do right by the tournament, and that's putting in a one-loss Miami of Ohio team in the tournament.
Is there any team that you don't buy? Like, is there any team you're not sold on that is probably one of the favorites?
Favorites? No, man. All those teams we just named, I could absolutely see a pathway for them winning. I could also see a path. You saw what happened yesterday. You saw the two big dogs get upset, right? Two of the big dogs get upset. So the other team, they've got. Listen, now we can say it. They're paying their players too. Those players are getting paid too, right? We used to just say it for the NBA or NFL, but they're getting paid too. And I think Michigan's tough time is they lost their two guard to an ACL a few weeks ago. I think that really hurt Michigan, to Corey's point. And I think that's going to show against a team that has really strong backcourt. The good thing for Michigan is they're playing against Purdue today in the championship. Purdue's got a good backcourt, but there are defensive liabilities on both ends. And I think Michigan wins this game, not going away necessarily, but I don't think it's going to be one possession or two possession game at the end. I can see them winning by 6, 8, 10 in that neighborhood today.
Another team I like, Jeremiah Fears Jr. and those Michigan State Spartans. I really like the Spartans as well. And you've talked about it all year. Guard play. Man, I don't think people have talked about Jeremiah Fears Jr. enough.
Yeah, well, they're talking about him now.
Is it junior or the third? I may be wrong.
They call him Jeremiah Fears the Tripper.
I love his brother who's on the Pelicans. Obviously, I'm not watching the Pelicans, but I do love him. Love his brother now at Michigan State as well. I'm going to keep an eye on them Spartans too. I really like the Spartans.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this, right? And at the beginning of the year, I laughed at Mick Cronin and all his euphemisms, all his excitement, all his other stuff, right? I just said, man, this guy he's just off the hook. He's nagging at the Big Ten about back-to-back games in the Midwest. But you know what? Mick Cronin coached his butt off the last 3 weeks, three games of this season. And when they were playing against Michigan State, those guards they had were the difference against Michigan State in that Big Ten tourney game, which put them ahead. Their problem was they were undermanned yesterday against Purdue, and they faded at the end, lost by 6 or 7 points. But I like Mick Cronin. I like all his euphemisms, all his excitement. I'm telling you, but that dude can coach. And I'm gonna tell you this: people who knock Mick Cronin and he's a nutcase. I was one of those ones who said it earlier in the year too. Ain't nobody transferring, baby. Ain't nobody leaving Mick Cronin. They are coming. They're coming in droves, and they love their coach. Even the player remember the player he kicked out of the game for the flagrant foul.
Yeah,
arms around him, loves his coach. So whatever he's telling him in the locker room is working. Because I'm not saying UCLA is going to win it all, no, but they might hit somebody in the throat, maybe in that round 2 matchup, maybe potentially even going to the Sweet 16.
It's going to be interesting. We talk about the Sweet 16. Can't forget about the NAIA. We cover that a lot here on Game Time. And I want to give a big shout out, obviously. Well, one, I want to give a shout out to Scott Moore and the Grace Lancers. They are continuing their road. They are heading to Kansas City for the Sweet 16. I want to give a big shout out to Huntington as well. I talked to their sports broadcaster yesterday. I believe Preston Hubbard, I believe, is how you pronounce it. I got to talk to him a little bit yesterday. Their season did come to an end yesterday. I want to give a big props to him. I follow his work over there at Huntington. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to Grace College, though. Hopefully they can get it done and bring home that national championship. We're going to try to get some more NAIA coaches on the show once the season's over. Going to try to get Indiana Wesleyan's coach. We're going to try to get a couple coaches on the show. I also need to give a shout out to DeAndre Brock, who we had on the show earlier. I did not tell you this story on the phone, Daryl, but I had a coach from a middle school reach out to me thinking I was the athletic director over at Phelan Academy because they saw my tweet about doing the interview with DeAndre Brock a couple months ago because I searched up DeAndre Brock in Google, and the second thing that pops up is my tweet about announcing the interview. So he emails me thinking I'm the coach or athletic director. So then I had to direct the information for DeAndre Brock to that guy to get him the info for DeAndre Brock. So shout out to DeAndre Brock and Phelan Academy. I don't know if I said that right. Phelan Academy, whichever one it is. Shout out to them. Hopefully they get that football game scheduled because that was why he contacted me, the school. So hopefully that football game gets done. I did tell the athletic director for that school if they ever want to do an interview, we'd be happy to have them on. Just because that was such a funny interaction. I'm sitting there at Kroger and I get an email about Coach. We'd love to schedule for a football game, and I'm like, I'm just a sports broadcaster, so I thought I forgot to tell you that story over the phone.
Put your pads on, man. You got to get ready, right?
So I thought I would tell you that story today because apparently I was the athletic director for a couple moments there.
And for those who hadn't been watching us, for the longest, DeAndre Brock is an ex-assistant coach at Warren Central High School, my alma mater, Isaiah's alma mater, and also we've had him on the show interviewing. Very sharp guy. Also, me and his mom grew up together. We knew each other since we were 2 years old. So DeAndre Brock is absolutely in the family. And when I did this Dove CWC, we cannot forget about my guy, Mr. Jones. Josh Jones, North Dakota State University. Let's take a look and see what they got going on for the day.
Whoa. Boo Warren. Who is that?
Hey, easy. Hey, we will block you. We will block
No, we won't. We will take any opinion. But, man, that was Warren slander.
But no, North Dakota State University started off, I think, 3-4. Yeah. I know they don't get a lot of pub in the national media. Just take a look at North Dakota State University. Josh Jones, an assistant coach, also Warren Central High School legend, by the way. And we're going to always leverage our Dub C faith, right? But take a look at North Dakota State University. And if you want to look at some good basketball, you don't have to look far.
BD Giants all day, and it says Science. That's Reggie. I was thinking that was a new viewer, but it's just it's just the king of trolls doing what he does best. Well, Daryl,
no, that's Chris. That's Reggie's son.
Oh, Chris. Gotcha. I thought that was Reggie.
Hey, Chris, we're gonna always argue about that. It doesn't matter. We're gonna always argue about that.
Daryl. Like you said, it's been an eventful week for the Game Time Network. We've done a lot of shows, a lot of new shows, a lot of recorded segments from this show, Game Time Live. I want to go through the comments, right? All these viewers commented this week. It's only right that we pull up the comments and we maybe do a little trolling ourselves this week. Take a play out of Reggie's playbook. And we're going to start with you and your best friend, Mike Evans. We're going to start right there for you this week. Let's go ahead. Let's run the full clip of what Daryl said about Mike Evans that had 10 people in the comments in an uproar. Let's go ahead and play it.
Threw me off in with the Mike Evans deal, right? Mike Evans going to San Francisco. On our show Sunday, Ramon called it. But I'm just going to tell you this.
He did call it.
Mike Evans is coming off of 2 injury-riddled years. He'll be going into his 14th year of playing football. Mm-hmm. They want him to replace Brett and Ayuk. Ayuk is younger, faster, more shiftier, and not coming off of 2 back-to-back seasons with big injuries. I'm gonna call it on this show. I think it's a miss for the 49ers. I think it's a big miss for them, and I think it's a big miss for Mike because he's a Tampa Bay guy and he should have finished his career in Tampa Bay. But what
now, I am curious now obviously we talked about this before we went live, but looking at some of the comments, I think, one thing that is very apparent is I don't think a lot of people don't know about the Brandon Ayuk situation like my co-host does. Even I wasn't too informed on the Brandon Ayuk situation. I will just be upfront about it.
Be informed.
When you look, I think some people made a good point in the comments, and they said it feels like Tampa Bay they didn't want Mike Evans back, is what some people in the comments were saying. A lot of people were saying they're trying to funnel in their young guys, so they didn't really want Mike Evans back. So what is your response to that? Because I did see a couple comments about that, and then I'll scroll through the comments. If you want to pick one out, you can go ahead.
No, I think they're right. I think they are they were more wanting to move Mike away than Mike wanting to stay, right? To leave, because they got the young guys, and they were looking to, you replace the old with the young in the NFL. I get that. What I was saying was this: Mike Evans signed a 3-year, $60 million deal. Tampa Bay wasn't going to pay him that money. And you can say what you want in the comments and try to troll, but it's a weak attempt because Tampa Bay wasn't going to pay him that money because they didn't have it, first of all. Secondly, coming off 2 years of injuries, they weren't having it. And then thirdly, this is an opportunity for him to cash in one more big time on a big ticket. And that's what he did. Yeah. I'm not begrudging Mike Evans for doing that. But also, let's talk about the 49ers. You're talking about an injury-riddled team. All I heard from week 9 on last year, all these injuries we got. Oh, my gosh, all these injuries we got. Then you get a guy who's come off of 2 years of injuries to an old team. They're looking to get rid of Trent Williams now. Of those of y'all who don't study, take a look. They're trying to looking to get rid of Trent Williams right now. They've got an old C-Mac. Their tight end was out for the end of the last year. Their offensive line was banged up. They got a good quarterback, a very, very, very good coach. They've got a good defensive backfield, but their linebackers are old. So all I'm saying is this is an older team. And I don't begrudge Mike Evans. Hey, he struck while the iron was hot. 3 years at 65 million. Thumbs up for him. I just don't see it turning into something that you're going to say, look, in the end of the season, wow, that's what put us over the top. Like T.O. going to Philadelphia. That's what it seems like some people are trying to make this out to be. Like T.O. going to Philadelphia when he went there and they got to the Super Bowl. This ain't it. And if you looked at Mike Evans over the last 2 years, you understand why Tampa Bay was somewhat okay to let him walk out the door.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And I don't the comments, they all were very respectful. I don't think anybody was disrespectful other than one person said Ayuk has CTE. I didn't want to see that person's medical credentials for him to say or her to say that Ayuk has CTE. Just show me your not your diploma. I want to see your transcript of your medical school you went to tell me he's a CTE.
There you go.
So I'll leave that one at that. I stand on what I said, and he's an old receiver, not going into his 14th year, is going to his 13th year.
Yeah.
So that I'll give you that. But for me, the take my take is this: he got his money, good for him. You never blank on a man's money. He got his money, solid. Mm-hmm. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But if you think he's going to be there for 3 years, you're high.
Yeah. Interesting. Here, Corey said something. I feel he's a red zone killer for San Fran, third down chain mover. I think that's a great point. Yeah, and I
think said it on the other show. I agree with that. Yeah. I'm just saying for me, I'm seeing people seeing it as even bigger than that. I just don't see it as bigger than that.
That's fair. I want to pull up what I said about Bam. Usually any clip I post, I'm usually 10 toes down. I will stand on what I said. But I do agree with this Bam stuff. I have pulled back a little bit. I want to dissect this clip. I was hesitant on keeping this clip up just because I am at a point where I do disagree with this clip now. But I'm going to pull it up. I want to dissect it a little bit.
Well, you ain't removing none of mine because I'm standing on what I said.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We're going to pull it up, and I'm going to let this play full. And then we will break it down a little bit here. So about the Bam stuff isn't necessarily that he got 83. It's the way he got 83. It's not ethical. And, there's people on the timeline that are like, respect it. There's not really much to respect about how he got 83 points. I'm going to pull up the stats, but I mean, it's 43 free throws. 43. I truly don't really care if he got fouled hard because, I mean, look at the state of the game. I mean, I'm going to go on record and say most of those free throws, I'm assuming he barely got touched and he got to the free throw line. So it's just, I'm not even gonna listen to that. 36 of 43 from the free throw line. You took 43 free throws, 43 of your 8. Half of your points were free throws. Just not ethical. It's not ethical. What makes me so that's what I said hours after the game had ended, and I don't retract some of that, right? I still don't respect the fourth quarter. I will stay with that. What I don't agree with in the clip is saying even if he got fouled hard, that's the part I don't agree with, because a lot of those fouls that I saw were fouls. Take away the fourth quarter, looking at the first 3 quarters, a lot of those fouls were fouls. So I do rescind that. But I still stay with this. I think Kobe's 81 was way more ethical. And everybody's like, well, he was up. Kobe was up in the fourth. He was down in the third. If you go back and watch the game, because I went back and watched both highlights. Obviously the full games aren't available on YouTube, and you got to have league pass. It's a whole thing. But I do take back what I said about the fouls in the 43 free throws. I don't take back what I said about the fourth quarter and that part not being ethical in Kobe's game, right? I don't care that I've got the Kobe jersey sitting behind me. I can take away my Kobe bias and still feel the same way, right? If I was really a Kobe fan, because there's a lot of Kobe fans on Twitter that they said they're going to hate Bam Adebayo for the rest of their life. It ain't that personal for me.
Where these comments come? I'm like, people are really mad.
Yes,
people said they're really mad about make mad as people talking about A3 people that look like you. Is that people with glasses? Is that
I don't know. I got a big forehead.
Like Kobe fans or something. Hey, just so y'all know, I wasn't a Kobe fan. I just respect, the basketball player. I'm a Pacer guy. I'm not a Kobe fan, Jordan, all those guys, whatever, right? But the thing is, we're here to give our assessment of what we saw, right? Yeah. This isn't biased with a little bit of truth. This is facts and what we're going off of what we see and how we assess something, right? Yeah. There's no bias. Isaiah's a Laker fan. He's got no skin in the game with Miami. I'm a Pacer fan. No skin in the game with Miami. And they were playing the Washington Bullets. Well, Wizards, excuse me. So it doesn't matter. So that what we're saying is what we saw. And again, I'm not like Isaiah. I'm not retracting the damn thing I said because I saw the game live. I didn't have to go back and look at a clip. I saw the game live, and I saw a young man that was hot in the first half. Absolutely. He was on fire, smoking. But I'm not respecting 7 for 22 coming from Bam Adebayo from the three-point line. Not respecting that. 22 threes, you're trying to get somewhere. That's fine. Just call it like it is. You're trying to get somewhere. Any of you all who are commenting about this, show me where he shot 22 three-point shots in his whole career. He's still as a career 16.8 point per game guy. His high water mark per year was 20. Yeah. Those things are facts. That's not feelings. 16 over his career, 20, I think 20.9 or something like that was his high water mark. Call it like it is. Those are facts. So y'all can take that, put in your pipe and smoke it. But I'm not backing down off of it. I'm not going to make it personal, but I'm going to stand.
What makes me more mad about
because of what I said.
Yeah.
So that's all. I just shared that. I didn't have to watch a clip and let someone. Oh, well, did you see this? Yeah, I saw it. I sat right in my little chair in my living room, watching the whole thing. So I got you. I saw it. So show me. Tell you what, Isaiah, you got the access. I don't right now. Show me Bam Adebayo's most 3-point shots in any game in his career. Okay. We know it was Tuesday, but what's the second? But again, as we're looking at, we can be talking about some other things as well because the NBA got hot last night. I was so impressed with the Lakers and Denver game.
Oh my
man, that was probably at this point the game of the year. They went back and forth, overtime, big shot after big shot. AR-15 bangs the ball on the rim at the free throw line, gets his own rebound, laces a 2-point bucket to take the lead. Luka, step back, pull up, bang, lace. Bron playing defense last night. This dude.
Go on the floor.
Hey, give credit where credit is due. That dude balled his butt off. He looked humble. And I'm gonna tell you this.
Unselfish.
If in fact he plays this way for the rest of the year,
Don't say it.
There could be something good out of that. Because you don't see that. Now, mind you, 41, so maybe he can't do it every night.
Yes.
But man, oh man, him being the third wheel, and all they need DeAndre Ayton to do is just rebound the damn ball, man. Rebound the ball, play defense.
I'm telling you.
Stop thinking you're the next coming of Roy Hibbert.
You're not. Be Clint Capella. Be Clint Capella like everyone's been telling you to do.
That was an impressive game on both ends. And I was surprised Murray didn't play very well. Murray is still hurt, right? He fouled out of the game, I think with like 9 points, something like that. He didn't play well. He's got to get himself back, for sure. So where are we at here? What are we looking at? 22. I see the 22.
Based on game high, March 10th, obviously reports
13.
Yeah.
So he shot 9 more threes. So those of y'all who are clowning Isaiah and making him retract his statement, you ain't gonna make me retract. So you make it make sense. You went from 13 as his high and 23 years ago, the beginning of the season, by the way, probably the first game of the season, and now he goes 22.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Bam's a bad dude. He's a bad dude. But let's just call it what it is and keep it moving.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all. That's all I yeah, Bron diving on the floor, pimp.
Yeah. Well,
hey, he did it, man. Hey, he dove on the floor, man. Give credit where credit is due.
I said I wanted to address this.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna address it right now. I'm gonna get my Luka jersey.
Oh Lord.
And we're gonna address the Los Angeles Lakers. It's time for the NBA portion of the show.
I guess you have it.
Bam kind of led us into it, but I want to pull up the standings, right? Man, what a week this has been for the Lakers. It's a feel-good week. We beat the Timberwolves, which got us the 3rd seed. We then beat the Nuggets last night in a great game. Luka Doncic played really well. Austin Reeves is our second option. I am of the belief, and I've been saying this since the start of the year, I think there's no reason to trade AR in the offseason. Let AR and Luka be the two guys. The Lakers are 12-2 now when it's Luka and AR on the floor with no Bron. I'm not saying there was this stupid narrative this week that the Lakers are better without LeBron. I'm not getting into that because I didn't do the research to prove this. LeBron is 41 years old. If we need LeBron to be the defining factor of why this team wins basketball games, then there's an issue when we have Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. That's all I'm going to say. We should be 11-2 when it's just Luka and AR. If we're not winning without LeBron, there's a serious issue, right? Okay. Like Laker fans need to get a grip. And they also need to get a grip with this. What seed were we last year, Daryl, when the playoffs started?
I think it was the 3rd or 4th, right?
It was the 3rd seed. And I want to nip this in the bud right now. We were not the 3rd seed because of Luka Doncic. We were the 3rd seed before we had Luka. I probably watched more Lakers game before the Luka trade than after the Luka trade because that roster with LeBron and AD was playing some of the best basketball of his career in that stretch, and LeBron was playing like LeBron. It was doing really well. D'Lo was playing well. Everybody on the roster was doing their job. And I had full confidence in that roster that maybe we get a Western Conference Finals appearance. I said at best 2nd round exit, but maybe we could squeak in a WCF appearance if possible. So I believe last year, the reason we were the 3rd seed was off the back of AD and LeBron. Now, obviously, Lucas kept us afloat, and then we got Dorian Finney-Smith, but that roster was never good enough to compete for a championship or a Western Conference Finals appearance. And Anthony Edwards said, I'm going to show you why you're not competent enough. And he did just that. So props to Ant. I'll always support Ant. But looking at this roster, I think if right now we would play the Nuggets, man, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if we're beating Denver. I get we beat them last night, but they had no Jamal Murray. And for some reason.
Well, they did have him. He's not, I don't think he's 100% healthy. He fouled out with like 9 points.
Look, I want my revenge on the Nuggets really bad. We lost to him in the WCF, and then we lost to him in the first round.
I
2
want
years
my
straight.
revenge.
I want Denver. I want my revenge against Denver, but man, I don't want to play them, right? But I am of the belief right now that this team is still a first round exit. I love my Lakers, right? If anything, I have more confidence in my Lakers than I will in any other team because screw the Dallas Cowboys. But
Hey.
we're going to talk about them too. We'll end this off with some offseason NFL talk because I did like the moves the Cowboys made, even though they were minimal. But right now, like I said, if I was the Lakers, I'm fine with probably playing Houston and Denver. I really don't want to play Minnesota, even though we beat Minnesota this week. I am coming around on the fact that we could maybe win in the first round, but I am still, 7-game series. If somebody told me I like Houston, Minnesota, and Denver over the Lakers in 7 games, who am I to argue? I just think the roster is still a little weak on the defensive side of the ball. Now, this doesn't go against the fact that I think Luka has shown more effort on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, we're still a juggernaut with AR and Luka. I don't know how it's going to pan out. If you asked me a couple weeks ago before the deadline, I would have said, yeah, we're a guaranteed first-round exit. You ask me now a couple weeks after, looking at us at 8-2 on a 5-game win streak, I'm a little more lenient. I'm more about 60-40. 40% says we get through the first round. 60% says, we're probably losing in the first round in like 6 or 7 games because you're going to have a tough matchup either way it goes. You either get the Nuggets, you either get the Timberwolves, or you either get the Rockets because I don't think the Suns are going to be I think the Suns are going to be in the play-in. I don't think anyone is going to I don't think none of these 4 teams, Lakers through Nuggets, are dropping out of the play-in or dropping to the play-in. So I like how the Lakers look. I still don't think this roster is competent enough to get a Western Conference Finals appearance. And last but not least, Laker fans, you guys got to get a grip. To say we're better without LeBron or we're not better without LeBron, yes, Marcus Smart has been a great addition. I said that in the offseason. Daryl was like, he's 47. I understand that. But he has brought an energy off the bench that this team has been surely needed. Like, this was surely missing from him. I'm not asking him to hit threes, but when he can hit a couple, that's fine. But his lightning rod, he's our lightning rod off the bench. Thank you, Corey, for bringing that up. That has probably been my favorite player on the roster, other than obviously the top guys, is Marcus Smart. I like how the Lakers look. Hopefully we can get through the first round. But, boy, after that, he ain't getting through the Spurs. You ain't getting through the Spurs. You ain't getting through the Thunder. Unless DeAndre Ayton says, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm not going to do nothing else but guard Wemby, not a shot. But I like our chances in the first round, but it's going to be a dogfight whoever we play in the first round. Unless it's Denver, because Denver seems a little shaky right now. Their role players aren't playing the best. So we'll see what happens. Daryl, anything you want to say about the Lakers before we go to another team?
Still a lot to be said, right? Marcus Smart has continued to get better for as the seasons come along defensively. He balled out last night. He picked my man's pocket late in the fourth, which was crazy, and got to the cup with a layup. That was impressive. I'm telling you, I'm liking what the Lakers are doing, man. I mean, listen, I'm not a Laker fan, but I'm liking what they're doing. But we got to make sure as you look at this, you got to be careful of pumping your brakes because if they get on a 3-game losing streak, they can be 7th in the West. Yep. So just like last year, I swear to you, this looks just like last season.
Yeah.
Except the teams have changed. Spurs weren't there, obviously, but big picture wise, Lakers, Rockets, Timberwolves, Nuggets in that area. I think the Clippers were up in that area replacing the Suns. But all in that area, you're talking about 3 to 7 could be the difference of 2 to 3 games. So there's a lot of basketball still to be played. You're talking about they play 67 games. They've got 15 big. 15 big games left, and a lot can change in that. And to your point, LeBron's 41 years old. Listen, if he gets hurt and he's out, I'm not saying that they can't win without him, all this stuff like that, but he's better with you. You're better with him than without him.
And that was the narrative on Twitter this week was,
I think they're better with him with that. You have a guy you'll get calls. He's going to get calls for sure.
After we beat the Timberwolves, everybody on Lakers Twitter, some people on Lakers, and somebody broke this down real simple for me when it comes to Laker fans, right? There's Laker fans like me. I don't care who's on the team. I care about the Lakers, right? And then you have the Kobe fans where Oh, it doesn't matter what Luka does, or it doesn't matter what Bron does. Kobe's always going to be the greatest.
Well, they're fans of the player, not the team. That's the thing, right?
Yeah,
and LeBron fans are very similar.
And that's where I was getting to. And then you have LeBron fans where, oh, this team needs LeBron. This team really doesn't need LeBron. I'm ready for LeBron to be gone, if you want me to be quite honest with you, because he's holding up $56 million. That's the only reason why I want him gone. $56 million. We could go. That's a max contract spot that he's holding up, and he's 41 years old. But other than that, there's a LeBron figurine right there on my dresser to block my dresser's a mess, so I used it to block it. But I like I'm a Laker fan. I'm not a Luka fan. I am a Kobe fan, but that doesn't get in the way of what I want. I want the Lakers to win championship after championship after championship. All right, that's what I want. So, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to the Western Conference Finals, because that's not how I feel. I will always say it. I'm the most realistic Laker fan you will ever meet, because I have been saying it since the start of the year. I don't think this team is capable of a Western Conference Finals appearance. I don't even think they're capable of a first round. I don't think they're capable to get into the second round. But if you ask me today, right now, as an 8-2 in their last 10 and on a 5-game win streak, which is the second hottest in the West behind the Thunder, I like our chances to maybe get out of the first round right now. But you got to keep this momentum up, and you got to keep rolling. And I agree with what my co-host said. LeBron said it after the game, because all this talk about LeBron is selfish and everything else. Who took the shot to send us into overtime? It wasn't LeBron. Who took the shot to win the game? It wasn't LeBron. And then what did he say after the game? Our guy, our best player on the team, wanted the ball, so he got the ball. This is LeBron saying this. I don't have the quote, but he said, our guy wanted the ball, so we gave him the ball, and he's going to be taking more shots like that in a Laker uniform for years to come. So I don't ever want to hear this stupid narrative that LeBron is selfish. Can he be selfish in moments? Yes, but to be a great player, you do got to be selfish.
That's why listen.
That's why Luka
he's been for as long as he's been. You damn right he's got.
You got to be selfish.
He better have some selfishness in him.
But in that moment, to be unselfish and say yes, AR should get the ball or Luka should get the ball. That's why we're going to get out of the first round, if anything else. And LeBron diving on the floor, playing defense. That's what we need.
Not that it's personal for me, but it is. I got 2 future bets in NBA champions.
No, I need
they're attached to the Lakers and the San Antonio Spurs. And I got great odds for both. And I'm just telling you
to get it done.
Yes, I'm a Pacer fan, but I know what click to the Eastern Conference real quick, Isaiah. Let's click real quick. Let's click real quick to the East real quick. The slide to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. There you go. See, there you go, right there. My boys are there, so I'm not concerned how they're going to finish in the playoff this season. So my future bets: Lakers and San Antonio Spurs. I got much better odds of San Antonio than I did the Lakers. Yeah. But either way, if either of those teams win it all, you know what, Isaiah? I might have someone buy me a knockoff Lakers jersey or a Spurs jersey if, in fact, that happens, because I have enough capital to get me a nice jersey, but I just don't buy jerseys.
And you just reminded me, and I will still stand by this. If the Cavaliers make the Eastern Conference Finals, I will buy a James Harden jersey. I'm not saying it's a Cavs one, because that's going to be expensive, but I will buy a James Harden jersey, and I will wear it on the show for about a month straight. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, because I've been saying they won't, which they won't. They won't. They won't make the Eastern Conference Finals. Where are they at right now? They're a 4 seed? Hell, or look at Orlando. 8-2, 7-game win streak. They've come out of nowhere. They may lose to Orlando, because James Harden, we're going to get to game 6 of that series. They're going to be down 3-2. Harden's going to put up a goose egg or 6 points, and he's going to rely on Donovan Mitchell to get the job done. And Donovan Mitchell ain't getting the job done either.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
After Detroit lost 4 in a row, they've come back with 3 in a row, and the ship is steadied again. But again, as I said, teams will lose 3 or 4 in a row. They'll win 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah,
I know everybody's giving me hell about picking Detroit. Oh, you're just picking Detroit because what? Because I believe they're the best team in the East. When I picked them in November, I'm sticking to it now.
You look at teams that are winning. There's one team that has had a major. Well, there's 2 that's had. Well, one's had a minor slip. One has had a major slip. Toronto's had a minor slip. They're down at 4-6 of their last 10 in the 6th spot. The major slip, Philadelphia. They were at the top in that top 5. They've slid all the way down into the play-in at 9th. 5-5. Biggest mover other than the Magic, Atlanta Hawks. 9-1 of their last 10 games. 9-game win streak. I like them. They're playing really well. Jalen Johnson looks great.
Atlanta's 8th. If a couple of wins, they could be 5th.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So again, we all know that the cream is at the top, though, right? I think all of us acknowledge and realize
it's 3.5 teams.
Celtics, Knicks, and Cavs.
No, 3.5. Cavs are,
you know. But with all that being said, and all this moving around and everything, I'm going to admit, Isaiah, in November, we were talking. You said, "Well, let's talk NBA." I said, "The hell with NBA. There's nothing I want to talk about." This has been a compelling season. Through all the chutzpah and all the other
we've
stuff,
been excited.
This has been a compelling season. I still don't like some of the things that are going on in NBA.
Yep, I agree with you.
I get that, but it's been compelling. The trades have made some moves. Have made some teams better. Some teams have set themselves up for future years. I'm fired up and ready to see how the last 15 games of the regular season goes. And the playoffs is going to be lit. And I believe the playoffs is going to be more fun to watch out of the East because of where the teams are. Those you just said those top 4 teams. Any of those 4 teams, you got people saying one of those 4 teams is going to win it all. You don't see that in the West. You're seeing OKC, San Antonio, kind of pretty much what you're seeing.
Yep.
But here you got 4 teams that are probably the people saying.
Like I've said all year long, and that's changed now with Boston getting Tatum back, I'm still of the belief that all the teams out east, none of them have a real shot against San Antonio and Oklahoma City. I am still of the belief on that. I think.
No, listen. I'm not going to knock you on that. And you had asked me that this is a few weeks ago. Listen, man, it would be talk about uphill climbing for anyone in the East to knock off San Antonio.
Only one I really trust is Boston, and that's only because they've won a championship and they know how to do it.
Experience, right? They've got that experience.
But even that's slight. Like even that's a slight bet for me.
You think about it, you bring back a guy who hadn't played all year, who's a perennial all-star, and you add him into your mix with the players who've gotten better all throughout the season. Listen, Detroit and Boston going to be a great Eastern Conference Finals. It's going to be a great Eastern Conference Final. It's going to be physical. And again, I'll say it again. The reason why I like Detroit so much, man, is because they don't flop. They don't play those games. They're out there hooping. They're not trying to foul bait refs and all that stuff like that. They're out there playing tough. No, someone said, "Oh, they're the bad boys of the." No. Those guys were just ridiculously crazy physical. These guys are
one of my favorite documentaries.
These guys are physical within the framework. Yeah, Isaiah Stewart is a nutcase. Yes, we know that. But you can knock Isaiah Stewart if you want. But you look at his statistical data, that dude's a player. He's turning into a player. Yeah. And he's shooting threes. Now, he's not Bam Adebayo shooting threes, 22 threes a night, but Isaiah Stewart is turned himself into a player. He just got to get the in between the ears taken care of, man. Yeah. And if he plays right, because his coach has to be right too. Head coach is very volatile as well. Junior is very volatile. If he can calm his anger down a little bit and let Duran do his work in the paint and around the basket and let Cade Cunningham facilitate, the game's going to slow down in the playoffs anyway. I know someone was knocking saying, how can Cade carry the load? No, he didn't have to carry the load. I look at what Cade Cunningham is to what Tyler, excuse me. This Tyler Hansbrough, but how Tyrese Halliburton did for the Pacers last year. Why was I thinking Tyler Hansbrough? I was thinking Tyler Hansbrough for some reason. What the Tyrese, you're not Tyler Hansbrough, I promise. But it's Cade Cunningham looks very similar to what Tyrese looked like this time last season for the Pacers. But he's bigger, he's stronger, and he gets more done in the paint. So I still like what Detroit has done and is doing, but I'm not ignoring the Celtics. Yeah. I think it's going to be Detroit and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Jaylen Brown had some comments this week, and I want to bring him up on the pod.
My boy, Jaylen Brown.
He talked about SGA and the flopping and everything else, and he made some great points. I don't have the quote I'm not going to pull it up, but I put on my story, my Instagram story, and I know it won't happen. It's a fever dream. I wish they'd bring back hand checking. I think that would solve a lot of the issues that we have right now defensively in the NBA. I know they won't. I know it's a fever dream.
Freedom of movement. Freedom of movement. That's the moniker. Freedom of movement means you can't be putting your hands on players and directing them. Guys were directing guys where they wanted them to go years ago, and they're not going to have that. You're right, though. They're not going to have that.
I know. I brought it up. So, and I got a lot of story replies where people are like, yes, this would be great. Yes. And so I think a lot of people would love it. It's just something I put out, just, get some engagement, right? But I do feel that way. I wish they would bring back hand checking. I think it would solve a lot of these issues, but probably won't happen. Just something I wanted to bring up.
If they did, what would SGA do for points at the line?
Man, I was watching that game, and then the clip was out on X. SGA drove, he fell on the floor and everything else, and Jaylen Brown, man, you know what? You made me come around on Jaylen Brown a little more. He said, stop, that's not effing basketball or whatever. He said something like that. So
it's not. Well, listen,
it isn't.
I know people, they laugh when I say this, and I say it all the time. If these dudes are playing on the concrete jungles,
they wouldn't do this.
They wouldn't be falling on the ground. You ain't anybody who at West Montgomery, you know damn well what I'm talking about. You ain't falling on that concrete every time a guy touches you. It ain't gonna work.
Search up NBA players playing at a local gym. Man, they're getting to the bucket. No, they're focusing on they're not thinking about getting fouled. They're driving and they're concentrating on getting to the bucket. But we harp on the players for doing this so much. But at the end of the day, and somebody in the comments said it about Bam, and I agree with it. It's not on the players. It's on the league, because the league is fine with this.
Right.
It's on the league. So I can't be, I get mad at SGA and I get mad at Brunson on the show, yes, but I also am mad at the league as well, because the league is fine with it. It's a league that does this. So, I want to say this real quick about SGA too. I do think SGA is the best player in the league. I think he has solidified it this season. Last year, I think there was still an argument for Jokic, but the buzzer beater he had against Jokic, the way he's playing at 20, I don't know if you saw the stat. He's broken Wilt Chamberlain's record for the most 20. I just can't. That is the best player in the league. Yeah. I can't argue that.
I still got Jokic.
That's fair. And I had Jokic at the start of the year, but I quickly
changed. You're splitting hairs. Some will say Jokic, some will say SGA, some will say Kawhi. Listen, I wouldn't be mad at Kawhi at the way he's played this season. Just look at the season. I'm not talking, back he did this. No, now. I would, and I don't know his statistical data right now in front of me, but I'm telling you,
he's averaging like 30. He's averaging a crazy number.
Yeah, Kawhi is probably having his first, second, or third best season of his career, statistic wise.
Yeah, I
wouldn't be surprised. But also, don't leave out my guy Jaylen Brown either.
No, Jaylen Brown's coming in.
He's a two-way. He's a two-way guy.
He's playing really well. But I want to give SGA his flowers, because I know I'm hard on SGA on this show. I think he's one of the best. He's the best player in the league. He gets a couple more rings. I think there is an argument for where he'll rank amongst the greats, because he's got the roster to win 5 rings, 4 rings, and that will put him in an argument with the Bronze, the Magic. Like, he's going to be in that top 10 if you get 4 rings, right? Especially if you're the guy, and SGA is the guy. So if he is the guy and he gets these amount of rings, conversations will be had. Jokic gets a couple more rings. I think Jokic he only has 1 ring, and I think he's already in the argument for best centers, right? I don't think he's near Hakeem or Shaq quite yet, or Kareem, but I think he's close, right? Just with the stats and everything else, I think he's close. So big shout out to SGA, but I'll tell you right now, he's only going to be the best player for a couple more years, because Wemby is coming. And when Wemby has arrived, and I think next year it's only going to be worse. I think my biggest concern for the Spurs right now, Daryl, is the duo play of him and Fox is not as strong as I wish it could be. That is probably my biggest concern.
I thought Fox would have been better.
I did too.
Fox would have been better,
but I think what's also hindering it is the play of Stephon Castle. He's really coming to his own. So I think that's the other reason.
That's a good problem to have.
But I've seen moments this year where Fox is so aggressive, and then some moments he's not. De'Aaron Fox, when it's playoff time, I need you, the way you played against the Warriors in 2023, and you were going at Steph Curry and you forced it to 7 games, you better have that energy, because if you don't have that energy, Man, the Spurs, look, the Spurs got all the assets in the world to go get Giannis. And all they got to do is click that big red button on their desk and they'll have Giannis. So better start getting your act together.
Just got word from Ramon. He's out going to give him a new laptop. I think
I saw that.
It went on the fringe. It went on the fringe, man. So hopefully we'll have Ramon back next week.
Yeah.
Hey, but I want to throw this out, right? I know I'm gonna freeze up because I've been still getting a lot of heat on this Mike Evans thing. I didn't know he had so many family members to watch the show, right? I had no idea. Hey, but listen, we want everybody, right? So I just want to throw this out there. Just we talk about stats and what these guys did, and everybody loves to throw numbers at me. I'm gonna throw these two numbers at you, and it's just you tell me what you think. You know, two receivers. What career you want? First one is 866 catches, 13,000 yards, 108 touchdowns, 1 Super Bowl. You got that?
Yeah.
866, 13,000, 108 touchdowns, 1 Super Bowl. Okay. Next, 940 receptions, 12,700 yards, 68 touchdowns, and 3 Super Bowls.
Well, I know the first one is Mike Evans.
Who do you want? You won't guess this guy, so you don't waste your time trying to guess. You won't guess.
I'd probably want the second one, obviously, because I've got 3 Super Bowls. And
I'm gonna tell you, this is going to be my second argument about Mike Evans. Mike Evans, in no year he's ever played, was considered the best receiver in the league. Okay. This guy, the second guy, Art Monk, the truth Art Monk, the Washington Redskin great Art Monk. This man, when he retired in 1995, he led the league in receptions and was second or third in yards. When he retired in 1995. And I know my man Corey loves some Art Monk. I'm just throwing a number out there because numbers can be skewed and people can be conflicted. Art Monk was a very, 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 very good receiver, but was never looked at as the best in one season. They held his Hall of Fame up for years. I forget the guy's name, the national broadcaster who held it up, because he said, well, he was never the greatest player in any season, but he was consistently a great player. And that was the thing, right? Art Monk was the truth. 3 Super Bowl wins, right? A gentleman's gentleman. And Corey knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's the other, and I know my boy Dana Kimple as well too, big time. Yeah. So all I'm saying is be careful when you look at a guy's numbers and want to say he is this or he is that, right?
Well, I think Mike Evans is great.
No, I'm not saying he's not. Listen, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be careful when you look at numbers and you think this guy, or you look at TV and say his guy's much, much better than this guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would take Art Monk's career right now, absolute true leader, Corey.
Yeah.
Right now, if they both ended right now, I would take Art Monk's career. And people wouldn't even know to think about Art Monk, is what I'm saying. And he was playing in an era when they didn't throw the damn ball 45 times a game.
Yeah. And that's not to take away. And that's not to take away from Mike Evans. I mean, I pulled it up right here. 11 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He may have not have been the greatest receiver at one point, but he was in the top 5 and maybe even the top 3 for most of his career.
Well, I wouldn't say top 3.
And keep in mind, some of these years, his quarterback was Jameis Winston, and Jameis Winston's not a bad. He's an okay quarterback.
Listen, what I'm saying to you is this: see, don't talk like them. I'm not knocking Mike Evans.
I'm not either.
Saying to you, I'm saying take a look at the perspective of when these players played and how they're looked at.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is when Monk played, his quarterback was throwing the ball 25 or 30 times a game.
Yeah.
You know, and all I'm saying is these guys are very similar in the play, right? And I'm not going to overshoot a guy who was never the best receiver in any season that he ever played.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in Tampa Bay, you may argue and say, no, that one, his year 3 when he caught 1,500 yards, and that's fine. You can say that. But the only people saying that are in Tampa Bay. So I'm just saying, just be careful when we want to go jump and back a guy. Both of those guys got great careers, and he's got a Hall of Fame career. No knock. From my perspective, I would have liked seeing him stay in Tampa Bay because I like seeing a guy, start and stay with his organization. But when San Francisco offers you 3-60 and some change,
yeah, I'm gone.
You gotta go.
Especially if Tampa didn't offer me at all, or didn't offer, or just
I think they were trying to lowball. They were trying to lowball him because they want the hometown discount, right?
They've got
Hey, he said, "F your hometown discount."
Yeah. Well, I saw something else. I think Evans is a big Jerry Rice guy too, and that's maybe
someone said but I know somebody said that. Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice called for 22,000 yards.
I'm saying I just know I know he's a Jerry Rice guy. So
the comment said though he was trying to catch Jerry Rice.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure in what though, because there's nothing he's going to catch Jerry Rice in.
I'll search it up. Hold on.
So I don't know what they're, and that's what threw me. I was like, what are you talking about? Jerry Rice, look at Jerry Rice's numbers, over 20,000 yards receiving, I think over 200 touchdowns. He receptions, yards, he's not going to catch him. It's great that that's his idol. I mean, that's wonderful, but there's nothing he's going to catch when it comes to Jerry Rice.
I just pulled it up. So key record comparisons as of March 2026. So in consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, they're tied. So he's going to try to break that one this year.
No, he didn't. Well, he can't. No, consecutive because.
Oh yeah, consecutive. I'm tripping.
No,
sorry.
There's nothing to catch.
He tied total 1,000-yard seasons 11, 14. He trails by 3. Yeah, and then he's not going to catch the other ones. But so. I don't know.
That's all I was saying. I didn't understand their point.
Well, that's why I pulled it up. That's why I pulled it up.
I was like, well, what is he trying to catch? There's nothing he's going to catch there, right?
Yeah.
But again, listen, when you talk about Jerry Rice, and people love to say, they kind of minimize. Let me tell you something about Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is the only player that ever tear his ACL and come back in the same damn season. That's a football player. These dudes, now, even though the NFL is a tough game, these dudes wouldn't even come close to doing that. Jerry Rice, torn ACL, same season comes back. Same season.
Yeah.
That's a football player, man. So when you talk about Jerry Rice and receivers, there's Jerry Rice, and I understand we love Megatron and all that. Nah, it's Jerry Rice on that mountain all by himself. I love Randy Moss, love T.O., love those guys. It's Jerry Rice, and everybody else is well below that. There's no comparison. So I'm just saying, and not just because he's from Crawford, Mississippi, I'm a Mississippi guy, but I'm just telling you, there's no comparison.
I mean, 22,000 yards is insane. Yeah, you can't really argue with that. He could have 0 Super Bowls and 22,000 yards is still So great point, Daryl. Want to pull up the website real quick. We haven't showed it in a while. Make sure to go check out our website, GameTimeNetwork.org. It's got everything here. It's got our list of shows as well. And this is what I was scrolling down to. We want to finally announce Saturday, April 4th, we will be doing an in-house show at Bigsy's Sports Bar Grill. It is going to be a great time on April 4th. It'll be a Final Four party-esque, but it is also a celebration for us hitting 1 year as a channel on YouTube. We're going to be doing a April 1st show as well. Just kind of talking about the show and probably recapping stuff in sports. We will have some trivia. We're going to be giving out some t-shirts, and the big one, we'll be giving away some Pacer tickets. But we're going to make a recording, and we'll go into more detail about all that in the recording. But this is a big thing for us. It will not be online. So if you want to win the tickets, if you want to win a t-shirt,
must be present.
You've got to be in person. And these shows won't be online for the foreseeable future. We want to get as many people to Bigsy's. The goal of this is not only to help us get subscribers, but to get more people to show up to the restaurant on a weekly basis. So we decided, we're not going to give you guys the opportunity to watch this online. If you want to be present and you want to meet us, you want to win a t-shirt or win Pacer tickets, you have to show up to the show.
Or other items also from Bigsy's. Lita's going to have some surprises as well too. So we got gear, we've got tickets, and we've got some surprises from Bigsy's as well.
And you're wondering, how do I win the Pacer tickets? You don't have to pay. You don't have to win trivia. All you have to do is show up to the show, and there will be a raffle. All you got to do is show up,
You're
put your name in the raffle.
Your name's gonna be in the bucket. Everybody's name's gonna be in the
Yes.
bucket.
Yeah, everyone's name will be in the bucket, and you will win 2 tickets if you win. That way you can bring someone else with you. So that is how it will go on Saturday, April 4th. We will be making a video to kind of announce this as well. So please make sure to check out that video where we'll have more details. We'll have trivia. We'll talk a little NBA. We'll talk a little college hoops. So it is going to be a good time. We'll have a recorded episode coming out in the next couple of days regarding this announcement. Well, we wanted to tell all the people watching the live show. So you guys are going to be the first to know if you stuck through the live stream, and then the recorded episode part of this or recorded announcement will come out here in the next couple of days. Daryl, hell of a show. We've had a great week this week. We're going to continue. I want to direct people to our channel. Make sure to go check out the segments from Game Time Live where we talk about the Pistons, we talk about the Timberwolves. Make sure to go check out Bias with a Little Truth. That is our secondary live stream show as well. It's usually live on Wednesday nights around 6, 7 o'clock. So make sure to check out that show. And then obviously our new episode, if you're a motorsports fan, we got you covered side by side. Myself and Brandon Reef of Crossroads Sports. We are covering everything in motorsports. IndyCar. They are doing a race around AT&T Stadium. How cool is that? It's a street course. You're driving around AT&T Stadium. I'm watching the race right now over here on the side. NASCAR is at Las Vegas this week. And Formula One was in China. We'll be recapping all of that probably come Tuesday, I believe. I got to talk to Brandon about what day we're doing that. So make sure to check that out. Cott's Corner. Make sure to check out Cott's Corner. He'll have an episode coming out hopefully sometime this week. Corey, I better see you at Bigsy's so I can shake your hand.
Right.
And you know what, Corey?
He's got to fly from North Carolina. Corey's in Carolina.
Corey, you're going to have to make that flight up here because you may just get a free T-shirt. You've been here for every live stream for like about 2 months.
Anyway.
Yeah, so if you get up here, we'll definitely get you a T-shirt for sure, free of charge. I feel like you've been supporting the show for so long. I feel like, it's only right. Daryl, any thoughts before we get out of here?
No, man, it's a good show. I'm really excited about this college football. I'm too soon, not yet.
Too far away.
College basketball, and I'm ready to take on more stuff today. The week is going to be great. Good fortune to my man Scott Moore at Grace College. He's spending some time in Kansas City. I hope you have a long time in Kansas City, Scott. That means you're winning. So definitely nothing but love for you. And also love for my guy, Josh Jones at North Dakota State University. They've got some news coming today as well for the tournament for them. And I hope great fortune for them as well. So the people who love the show and been a part of the show, they got a lot of great things going for them. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, big props to all of the coaches we've talked to. I want to give a big thank you to Corey Alford as well at Oral Roberts. Don't think they're going to make the tournament, but I know it's their first season, him and Barnett. So big things for them to come in the next couple of years as well. So big shout out to Corey Alford and Oral Roberts as well. That's going to do it, folks. Thank you guys for watching this edition of Game Time Live. We will see you guys probably Wednesday, or Daryl will see you Wednesday for probably another episode of Bias with a Little Truth. That's going to do it for the flagship show of the Game Time Network, Game Time Live. We will see you guys next Sunday. You're watching Game Time Live on the Game Time Network. See you guys soon.